I would like to take the opportunity to tell you about a project that we have been working on during the last 3 years. And the program is to improve performance in critical patients in the emergency room. This kind of patients are in cardiac arrest or close to it, and we work not only the competencies in CPR, but the way the team works together. First of all, we will comment on what a high-performance team consists of, because many times we talk about things without knowing their real meaning. So, classically, you identify a high-performance team as one with high competencies. That means knowledge, abilities, and skills. But if you keep this idea, you are losing half of what a high-performance team stands for, because the most important thing is commitment. And commitment means motivation and self-confidence. And to develop this idea, I'm going to tell you a story that repeats itself. Imagine one day you are having dinner at home and you realize you have won a prize. And the prize consists of going to an island in the Pacific in where you will meet with the rest of your group and you will be trained in sailing skills. Because the target is to take a sailing ship and go with it and cross Cape Horn in South America. Cape Horn is known for centuries as an extremely dangerous place because of its streams and winds. So this is the target. Well, we have a first phase in where you arrive at the island and you meet with the rest of the group, known team from now. And you do that in a party on the beach in where there is food, drink, and music. At this point, you have high level of commitment, but low level of competencies, because what you know about sailing is nothing. A few weeks later, we go to the second phase, known as grounding. That means you have just sunk the ship. At this point, your team has low levels, not only of commitment, but competencies as well. And we go on, and we go to the phase number 3, in where the team has improved their skills, and one training day, while they are in open sea, a gale appears. A gale is the same as a strong storm. And all the crew thinks, oh my God, we are going to sink the ship again, without doubt. But against all odds, the team not only survive, but they master the ship perfectly. At this point, the levels of commitment and competencies are rising together. And there is a final phase in where your team is professional and they know it, and the commitment and competencies are maximum. So, in summary, we have a first phase called Party on the Beach, in where commitment is high, but competencies are low. We have a second phase in where commitment is low and competencies keep low, but not as low as the previous phase. We have a third phase in where commitment and competencies are rising together. And we have the last one in where your team is a professional team and commitment and competencies are at the top. And this is not only a tale, this is the reality of your lives. And it is for 3 reasons. In first place, every project in your life will follow these 4 phases, absolutely. In second place, if you fail in your project, you will do it in the second phase, grounding. And finally, the more commitment you have, the more competencies you get. And vice versa. The more competencies you have, the more commitment you get. It's a positive feedback. So, if you were the captain of the ship, what would you do with your team? It's easy if you know the story. If not, it's complicated. So, in the first phase, you should control your team, but not supporting, because your team is motivated from home. In the second phase, the most critical phase, it's the point in where the team can abort the project. You should make supervision, but the most important skill is supporting. And that's what most bad chiefs don't do. And the problem, the risk, is the team aborts the project. In the third phase, coaching and supporting is necessary, but not as intense as in the previous phase. Because of the positive feedback, the team is growing, and they are going better and better. And finally, in the last phase, if you have done all your job perfectly, you have to do nothing. At the end, delegation and no supporting is the task. So that's the way in where we have been working and dealing in the emergency room with this training program. Thank you very much again to Robbie for giving me the chance of speaking, and thank you very much for your attention.
I will talk about my specialty. And while I was preparing this, I thought, I know some people don't know what clinical pharmacology is, so I decided to begin with the definition of what are clinical pharmacologists. Because some people don't know whether if we are doctors, pharmacists, so this is the definition you will find. Clinical pharmacologists are physicians involved in the medical care of patients who are specialists in clinical pharmacology. And well, I know this isn't very clear yet. And no, this is not where you study to be a pharmacologist. So, what is clinical pharmacology? Clinical pharmacology is the scientific discipline that involves all the aspects of the relationship between drugs and humans. And it's a multidisciplinary team science. It encompasses a wide variety of scientific skills, including, of course, medicine, but also others, like pharmacy, toxicology, genetics, economy. And well, what does it focus on? We've got the investigational part. In our service work people who are specialized in the design, performance, and evaluation of clinical trials, but we also have an evaluation of drug effects. And we do this at different levels. First one, the clinical level. We participate in the therapeutic drug monitoring, but we also participate in ethics committees and economy and many other levels. The first one, the investigational one, which may seem the most attractive of all. Well, since a company starts researching a new molecule here, you see this is a huge process until we finally got one approved drug. Well, clinical pharmacology takes part here. And what is our work there? Well, since you found a molecule and you have proof this molecule is safe and it can be useful to treat a disease, then you can start thinking of developing it as a new drug to administer to people. But first of all, until you start a clinical trial, you need two things. You need to prove its safety, and it usually goes to an ethics committee, and needs the approval also of the Spanish Drug Agency in our case. And then you can start a clinical trial, which is the first time this drug will be administered to humans. Clinical trials also have different phases, but well, just know that we, clinical pharmacology, work here. Then, once the competent regulatory agency makes the approval, the drug is authorized, and you can find it at your drug stores. Well, but we don't finish our work there. Our work has to continue. And why is that? Because clinical trials cannot possibly represent every type of patient who might eventually take this drug. And some side effects are so strange that you don't see them at the clinical trial. So we have to continue monitoring these people. And we also participate in this phase, which is called pharmacovigilance or drug safety. That's the definition. Drug safety is the detection, understanding, and prevention of adverse drug reactions. And what are these adverse drug reactions? Well, it's a response to a medicine which is noxious and unintended. Yes, I know, this would be great, but it's not what we usually found. So what is the goal core of this part of pharmacovigilance? Well, we try with this to protect patients, but also to disseminate this information and this knowledge, not only above the professional communities, but also through people in general. And pharmacovigilance is also a process. We've got different steps. The first of it is risk identification. We do this with signals. And a signal, it's every kind of reported information of a possible causal relationship between a drug and an adverse reaction. Where can these signals come from? You've got, in this slide, a lot of ways these signals can come from. But the first one is where most of them come from, spontaneous reporting. And spontaneous reporting is usually done by a thing called yellow card scheme. Well, this is the way they do at the United Kingdom. They've got the paper form, which is this, and as you see and you can imagine for its name, it's yellow. And they also got a website. And nowadays, they also got this app they download in their mobile devices, and they can do it through it. Well, here in Spain, we've got also the paper forms. We've got a website way to do this through the Spanish Drug Agency. And well, while I was preparing this presentation, I thought to give you an example of how can we do this in our hospital website. We've got also in this banner a way to do this, which is called Tarjeta Amarilla. And in this, you can see all the information you need to fill in to finally get this yellow card done. You see, you've got to give some patient details, also the suspected drug information, suspected reaction. It's very important. You don't have to be sure. Just a suspected or a suspicion you've got, it's enough. You have to fill in this form, giving some of your details, and all this information will remain confidential. Only the pharmacovigilance center and the person who has filled in will have knowing of this information. Well, and to end this session, I will show you a little bit of what we do our clinical pharmacology service. First of all, where are we? Well, we are on Pavilion 15 on the second floor. And what do we do there? Several things. We do therapeutic consultations. Any doctor can call to our service asking about information about drugs or if they have doubts with any patient's treatment. We also do what is called TDM, therapeutic drug monitoring. We've got a laboratory placed here on the second floor and with a huge team that works with blood levels of different drugs, from anti-seizures, immunosuppressants, antibiotics, and we also got a clinical trials unit. These are some photographs of our clinical trials unit. As you see, it's like any other hospital ward you can find. Well, it's a little bit more colorful, but it works the same. In this photo, you see this place where people who don't have to stay overnight come and get blood tests done or who have to take orally medication. But we also have rooms, like any other hospital ward, for patients who have to stay overnight. And well, to sum up, I would like to show you this definition. And the core goal of my specialty, clinical pharmacology, is to improve patient care through the safe and effective use of medicines. And my last slide will be a quote. I always like it, and I would like to share with you. Because although I have talked to you a lot about investigation, clinical trials, and all of this may seem very attractive, we must take in mind that we are treating with people. And that's all. Thank you very much for coming and for listening to me today.
Some people might want to do una rotación externa in the United States of America. In the UK, hey, if you don't speak English, if you don't master, dominar to master, if you don't master English, it's going to be really difficult. So, yeah, we're trying to get that effective communication. Can you use English in the real world? ¿O solo quieres rellenar los huecos? Rellenar los huecos, aprobar exámenes? Or do you want to be able to speak and communicate and basically use English in the real world? That's what we're trying to achieve. And yeah, that's what it says. Comunicar de forma efectiva with patients and healthcare professionals, for sure. Now, what else have we got here? Yeah, you've seen, habéis visto hoy, you've seen, corregimos todos los fallos. No es nada negativo, es súper positivo. Es la única manera de avanzar. Si un profe no te corrige, ¿cómo vas a avanzar? Entonces, habéis visto hoy que corregimos los fallos de forma muy positiva, pero eso es fundamental. Correcting mistakes. And I think that we are trainers, entrenadores. Os metemos caña, somos muy exigentes, así se mejora. So, we've said about Rita and Carmelo, great work. Siempre se puede mejorar un poco. And that's what my job is. My job is to help you improve by siendo exigente. Okay, cool. We've got the objectives here. Un poco el contenido del curso. Grammar, vocab, of course. Básicamente queremos que os expreséis con fluidez, con agilidad, con soltura. Then we've got el curso, es muy flexible. Entendemos que tenéis jornadas de trabajo un poco complicadas. Es que estoy de guardia. Pues nada, puedes asistir mañana. So, el curso es muy flexible para que los alumnos puedan asistir. Es muy accesible. Aquí mismo, en el pabellón 16. Aquí estamos desde 2013. Hicimos esto con los residentes el otro día. Vamos a hacerlo otra vez. Venga, a ver. Venga, tenemos 5 minutines. Now, hemos hablado de la pronunciación correcta de palabras técnicas. Lo hicimos el otro día con los residentes de primer año, the first year residents. Vamos a hacerlo otra vez. We've got number 1. Wow. Who wants to volunteer? Come on then, let's go with Isabel. Hi, Isabel. Venga, Isabel. The first word.
Maybe squamous.
Listen to me, squamous. For example, squamous cell carcinoma. Igual lo tengo, como que paso mucho tiempo en el sol, I don't know. Squamous cell carcinoma. Have we got any otorhinolaryngologists? Any otorhinolaryngologists? Ear, nose and throat? No? Pues nada. Hey, how are you? Okay? Cool. Do you want to try the second word?
Sinusitis.
I like it. Sinusitis. Very nice. Good man. Then we've got next one. Here's Rosa. Venga, Rosa. Esta palabra para ti. Fácil. Esto para ti. Súper fácil. A ver.
Anxiety.
Oh my God, better than me. Mejor que yo. Anxiety. Wow. We've got some medication here. A bit of medication, number 4. Do you want to try the next one? Dale, tío.
Diazepam.
Not bad. Diazepam. How do you say it?
Diazepam.
I love your pronunciation. Nice work, for sure. And it's important to be able to pronounce the medication correctly, for sure. Here's a good one. Radiology. Es lo que me dicen. Radiology. Y yo, wow, vaya imagen que estamos transmitiendo. Radiology. ¿Me estás tomando el pelo? Radiology. ¿Cómo se dice?
Radiology.
Me mola. Radiology. Very nice work. Then we've got intravenous. Es lo que me dicen. Intravenous. Es increíble. Intravenous. Intravenous, no way. Íñigo?
Intravenous.
Intravenous. Perfect. Here's number 7. Here's a good one, number 7. Why don't we go with Dr. Alonso?
Hypothyroidism.
Listen, hypothyroidism. Try it again.
Hypothyroidism.
Una imagen muy profesional. Claro. Because if you want to transmit a professional image, you have to pronounce these words correctly. Hypothyroidism. Number 8 is interesting for me. My brother, when he was younger, he suffered from idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura. That's what he suffered from when he was a young boy. And number 8 would be for the hematologists, maybe. Why don't we go with, what's your name on the end? What's your name? Hi, Patricia. Do you want to try number 8?
Hemoperitoneum. Hemoperitoneum.
No, number 8.
Number 8. Thrombocytopenia.
Not bad, and I appreciate the effort. Agradezco el esfuerzo. Thrombocytopenia. ¿Qué nivel? And then we've got number 9, hemoperitoneum. Difícil. And then subcutaneous. No me gusta nada. Es que me dicen subcutaneous. Es lo que me dicen. Es increíble. Oh, hello. How are you? Nice to see you.
Subcutaneous.
Amazing. Subcutaneous. Perfect. So, yeah. If you want to transmit a professional image, esa imagen profesional, la pronunciación es fundamental. Y yo soy muy insistente con la pronunciación. Algunos me dicen que soy pesado. Ok, obviously, el inglés fundamental. Si tienes el inglés dominado, tienes una llave que te puede abrir muchísimas puertas. Muchísimas. And then, el año que viene, empezaremos finales de septiembre, algo así. Y la verdad es que es increíble que el hospital invierte dinero en la formación del personal del hospital. Es una gran oportunidad. Además, poder estar en clase conmigo, ¡wow! Un lujo. Es un lujo. Entonces, al final, pues me imagino, doctor Alonso, finales de julio, agosto, enviaremos unos emails, habrá información en intranet y si todavía no tienes el inglés dominado, vente a clase. Empezaremos a meteros caña, mucha caña, porque así se mejora. Nosotros no queremos estar rellenando huecos, mucha teoría, no, mucha práctica, queremos hablar. Entonces, hoy Carmelo y Rita, they've shown us what the objective is. El objetivo es trabajar una situación real para poder funcionar en el entorno laboral, el entorno profesional, en el inglés. Carmelo, great work today. Thank you so much for your work. I really appreciate your work. I appreciate your effort. And for me, it's a pleasure to work with you every day.
The pleasure was mine.
Thanks very much. And Rita, excellent. Estás en el buen camino. I really think that you, if you continue this way, will speak English perfectly and go on to have a very successful career. And if you want to have a successful career, English is really going to help you, I promise you. So please, the importance of English is... La importancia del inglés es increíble. Hoy en día y en el futuro, English is the future. Si no lo tienes dominado, ven a hablar conmigo and I will help you. Okay, I will help you, okay? So, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed our little class. And I hope to see you soon in September. Thanks very much. Have a good day.